Hello, everyone. Laurie Baracco here, and it is Saturday, September 24th, 2022, and I am at the Bonita Springs Mystical Moon, and I will wait for a moment or two so that everybody receives the notification that I am streaming live. And in the meantime, I'm going to share the link in the Facebook group because I know that sometimes you're not able to see my comments in there. So there I am. I'm going to share the link for the book, workbook. There you go. Okay, so there we are. All right. Hello, everyone. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So here in Southwest Florida, we've got fall, kind of sort of fall weather. We've cooled off just a couple of degrees, and it's interesting. Oh, there's Barb's question. How's the weather? Yeah, the weather's okay. You know, there's a little bit of hustle and bustle for the tropical weather that is kind of churning a little bit in the Gulf and in the Caribbean. And thank you. Someone mentioned they love the fall decor. This is my harvest altar that was created by Pam, and it's gorgeous. And we're going to create a little something in Fort Myers as well. So yes, we're going to be talking about harvest. And in the beginning of the comments here, I shared a link for the Mabon workbook. So let's get started. So as I usually do begin with my prayer of intention, I'm going to get that going and we'll get the party started. All right, so away we go. So I'm going to light my mixture of different cleansing blends that bring in good energy. They bring in the light. Hang on, there we go. They bring in the light, good energy, prosperity, positivity, healing. And if you've joined me before, when I set the space, I always try to bring in the light. So the light, I bring in the light so that the light brings in that cleansing and supportive energy that helps dissolve stress, negativity, fear, worry, all that stuff, anxiousness. And so let's all take a moment as we connect in. And I see the comment. Thank you, Barb. Yeah, Barb says Pam is so talented. Oh my gosh, she is such a creative person, just has that eye, that decorative eye and placement of things that create a focal point, right? She creates that focal point so that you can, you good? Okay. She creates that focal point so that you can, that your eye is drawn into the energies of the symbolism. And I see more comments here. Hey, good morning. So away we go. So we have our smudge bowl burning. We're going to take a moment to close our eyes, to settle in, to call in the light, to call in spirit, to call in the beings that work with all of us, to be present, asking for guidance and wisdom and healing and protection, and to continue to be supported on our paths. And so it is. So we will all set the prayer of intention as we connect in today, and then I will release the energies with all of us here today. So hello and welcome. Hello, Felicia, and hello, Felicia, Barb. And I see a Facebook user. Sometimes I'm not able to see people's names, but feel free to share your name and where you're tuning in from. Oh my gosh, I got a little warm from that. So sometimes you'll notice when you take a moment to set the space and expand your energy and call in the light, you might feel that healing coming in as those vibrations move through you. All right, so as you see, I did share the link for the workbook, so I'm gonna read a little bit with it, and then feel free to comment, ask questions, if there's anything that is emerging, popping up for you. So here we go. So we've got the Mystical Moon Mabon workbook. So this was created, and we posted it in the blog with the online store. And also if you've signed up for our newsletter, you'll find it there as well. Okay, so Mabon is typically, around the time of fall harvest. And this year it's from September 21st to the 29th, the equinox. So traditionally, Mabon is celebrated as a pagan holiday honoring the autumnal, I can't say that, equinox. It's a time to honor the balance of the sun and the moon and all of the bounty and abundance that they offer. It's a time of deep gratitude where we show our appreciation of nature and the plentiful harvest, right? So often we're attached to like these manifestations, these goals that we have where we're really, really, really emotionally charged. And oftentimes we overlook the small blessings, right? Like electricity, a roof over our heads, finding that great parking spot, right? We're excited for a moment and then it kind of fades away. Then we're like, okay, next thing. So this is a time to pause, take that sacred pause and be in that space of gratitude for the blessings that you have received, right? And so oftentimes within private sessions with clients that the messages from their team, their wisdom team, and the council and the light and the collective consciousnesses that work with them will say, this may have been kind of difficult, but it could have been so much worse. You have no idea what you were just protected and shielded from, right? You only are privy to what you're seeing in this moment. But the protection, the wisdom, the guidance, the near misses that we all experience or we often don't know about, right? Because then we might kind of get stuck in that moment of, oh my gosh, right? I could have been in that space. But if a difficult situation or any situation is not part of the scope, the plan of our soul's agendas, then it doesn't take place, right? So the other thing too is so often we get caught up in that plan. And we think that things are so random. There is so much coordination that goes on and a collective agreements with people and groups of people and individuals that we don't realize that there are the higher powers of us, the higher power and our free wills and our souls that go into the blending and the co-creation of everything. So I'm going to check in with some of the comments. Barb's question is, can you have an online altar creation class? Thank you. And loves the book. Thank you. Bree did a wonderful job. Bree, my assistant, she did a fabulous job with helping create that with the graphics and everything with that book. So we'll talk to Pam about that altar online creation class. And I don't know if she's watching or not, but I will be sure to put that little bug in her ear. And I see Linda from Rosario Beach. Linda, where's that? Where is Rosario Beach? I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. So I'll wait a moment for you to type that in. The meantime, I'm going to keep going with the workbook. So there are different ways to honor this Sabbath. So you can celebrate the harvest, show your gratitude for the bounty nature has given you by baking bread or any recipe that features apples or pumpkins. Pies are a great way to honor and celebrate this time. While you're baking, think about all that you are appreciative of. Share your abundance with family and friends, right? So maybe bake a pie or muffins, right? You could bake a pie, muffins, or breads and share in the harvest and the bounty with others. And food is it's an alchemical process, right? So think about the energy that we're putting into that. I know I have been to places where the server or the chef or my barista was maybe hurried or not in the best mood. And then I'm thinking, that vibration is going into the food, and then I'm going to put that in my body. So by the way, it's always a good thing to take a moment and to bless your food, your beverages, anything that you're about to put into your body, right? So that's a good point that I know that some of us, we know this, but then we forget, right? So as you're baking pies and breads, put that good energy into them for yourself and for others. All right. So another thing you can do is create a Mabon altar. Big or small, decorate an area of your home and honor it and create it and dedicate it to Mabon. Use a color scheme of red, orange, brown, and gold. And as you'll see here, there are some purples. Also, those rich purples are part of the season. Choose a candle and crystals, citrine and amber for abundance, along with moonstone and a sunstone to represent the balance of the equinox. And by the way, we have that belemorite, which is a crystal that is both moonstone and sunstone. So you have both of those energies together. Burn or diffuse frankincense and clove for protection and cleansing. Lastly, display items from the harvest, such as apples, pumpkins, leaves, or acorns. There's another thing that I wanted to share too that you can create as well, and that's a simmer pot. You can create a Harvest Mabon simmer pot. I'm going to just check in. I see a couple more comments. Hello, Vanessa. Good day. Good day. So with creating a simmer pot, what you can do is you can get a nice pot, put it on the stove, or you can use a crock pot as well. And you put some water in there, and then you take the herbs or the spices and you let it simmer all day. And we're honoring the elements and the blends, and we're blessing our spaces with the harvest and being in that space of gratitude. It kind of gets you in that space, right? And it reminds us of the cycles of life, right? That's why we celebrate all this. This life is the wheel, right? We live on a wheel of cycles and change. Just like with the cycles of the moon, the cycles and the seasons of the year represent different phases of our lives, right? So like winter is when things are dying off and ending. Spring is when there are new beginnings and new life. Fall is when we celebrate that harvest. We start to see the harvest of our hard work and the blessings, and we partake in those. Summer is a time of even more prep work, right? So spring is the planting of seeds, the new beginnings, and tending to that. Summer, we're putting our effort in there, right? And we're learning about the manifestation process as we work hard to pull those weeds and make sure that our dreams and our hopes are nourished and respected and treated sacredly. And then the fall, we begin to enjoy those harvests. We also are working towards selecting them, right? And picking them and cleaning them up and prepping them, right? And in that space of gratitude. And then as we move into winter, this is when we start to release what's not serving anymore, endings, dying off. The death portal, being in the death portal, where the old aspects of self are released and they kind of just fall to the wayside, right? Personality, perspectives, relationships, situations, and so on and so forth. So at this time of harvest, we're in that space of gratitude and appreciation for all that we have. And some of the ingredients that you can add to your simmer pot are apples, cinnamon, allspice, vanilla, clove, pumpkin, bay leaves. There was another one I forgot. Did I put oranges? That's it. And oranges, because orange is also in there as well. And it adds that sweetness as well. So I'll go over that again. So some things to add to your simmer pot are apples, cinnamon, allspice, vanilla, clove, pumpkins, bay leaves, and oranges. And so with your simmer pot, you want to make sure that you have water in there to keep it going. This is not at a crazy high boil, right? You want to get the elements, the ingredients going. And as you're doing this, you will create your simmer pot in a ritualistic, ceremonial manner, right? Honoring and each element that goes into that simmer pot. So another thing that you can do is craft a spell jar. So gratitude is the attitude of Mabon. Use your magic to create a gratitude spell jar using the herbs and crystals outlined in the following pages of this workbook. Perform the ritual on the day of the equinox for an extra boost of magic, and keep the completed jar in your kitchen to continue to bless your harvest. So, yes, we already have passed the equinox, but we can still connect and anchor in those energies. So with the spell jar, I'm going to move down a little bit. Crafting a spell. So crafting a gratitude spell jar. A spell jar is a great way to focus on a specific intention of energy and add that into your working. This one focuses on gratitude for your harvest, literally or metaphorically. Perform this practice on the equinox for an extra boost of your magic, and keep the completed jar, as I mentioned, in your kitchen to attract future bounty. So what you'll need are, this is a sample of a spell jar. We have them in the storefront. They'll be in the online store within the next couple of days or so. So this is a spell jar. So you need a spell jar, frankincense, incense, a small piece of parchment paper and a pencil, a red or orange spell candle, sea salt, rosemary, clove, rice, and citrine. And so these are the ritual steps. Of course, before you start any ritual, be sure to set your space and focus on your intention. Begin by cleansing the jar and your items with the frankincense incense, right? So when you light that incense, you can use incense or you could use the resin. Like some people take a stick and they use the stick with the smoke to cleanse the inside of their spell jars and all of their magical tools. And so we'll cleanse the whole area, cleansing ourselves as well. Whenever I work with any kind of spell work or intention, I make sure I have, to the best of my ability, all of my supplies right there so I don't have to run around after setting my space. Then you use the parchment paper to inscribe your intention. I am grateful for all that I harvest. And then you'll fold the parchment paper, right? So when you fold your paper, here's a little pro tip. Here's my intention. You fold it towards you to bring that energy in, right? So if you're folding it once, you're going to fold it nicely, but you're going to fold it inwards towards you. If you're working with a spell intention to take away, to release, then you're going to take your paper and you're going to fold it away from you to release that energy, right? So you'll fold your parchment paper and you're going to fold it up a few times and add it to your spell jar. And then carefully add each magical herb to your spell jar and reflect upon the meaning of each one. So sea salt is to purify, rice is for abundance, rosemary is for protection and remembrance, and clove is for prosperity. Add the citrine crystal for additional abundance, and then close your spell jar, seal it with the wax from your candle, and then there you are. And so you could put this in your kitchen, you could put it on your altar, and this is just one spell that you can work with. Okay, I see some people asking about the ingredients. So I'm going to go back and read them again. Yep, apple, cinnamon, allspice, vanilla, oranges, clove, pumpkin, bay leaves. Apple, cinnamon, allspice, vanilla, clove, pumpkin, bay leaves, and orange. So these are just some of the ingredients. I mean, you can even add nutmeg too, right? The fall flavors, aromas, right? Yeah. I hope that helped a little. Okay, so also another thing you can do is you can use a tarot journal, a tarot deck or an oracle deck to reflect. Working with tarot or an oracle deck can help us find the answers we need to evolve our spirit. So I do have a spread in here that can help you reflect upon your harvest this season. Meditate, sit with your answers for a while, and then journal your thoughts, right? So you could get really creative when working with your card spreads. You don't have to have an elaborate spread to ask questions, right? Or to receive guidance. You can just kind of use the spread that we have here to understand a little bit more so. And I do want to share a little bit with working with cards, right? So in a little bit, we'll do a little Q&A with this deck. And this is going to be October's deck. It is the Trick or Treat Tarot. So how gorgeous is this, right? So say if I'm wanting to look into a situation and I need a little bit of clarity, what am I going to use? I'm going to use my deck, and I may set the space, right? So as I set the space, I'm already in sacred space, asking spirit to support me. That I need a little bit of clarity. I ask for my higher self and my spirit guides and my team to assist me with bringing through the wisdom to help support me at this time. And I'm going to pull a card to see what their guidance is and what the suggestion is for me to work on at this time that will help me through my life. So the card that I selected was the Eight of Wands reversed. So I'm going to say this is a universal message for all of us. So the Eight of Wands reversed is saying, slow it down, that you're being impatient with the timing of everything. You're so focused on hurry to get there, or just to get it over and done with, that there are certain elements you're overlooking. So then what is the suggested course of action? I'm pulling another card, and this is a suggested course of action is the Page of Cups. It's to enjoy the moment, have fun, be more playful, be more in a playful space, and not to be so serious, and be open to learning new things. You don't know everything. And open your heart. Have fun with this, right? You don't need to be so serious all the time. So playful energy is what's needed as we are in that slow down low gear, right? Downshift. So I would say for most of us, we're in that space of the downshift, meaning that we're kind of going at things at a slow crawl. Yeah. So that's how you can work with some guidance, but I do have that spread that's in here as well. So the Mabon Tarot spread is, there are 3 cards. Past, which seeds am I harvesting now? And where is my biggest area of balance? The next card is present. How can I show my gratitude to spirit? And then the last card is the future. Which seeds didn't sprout and what should I leave behind? So it's kind of like, there are like 2 questions. So for the group, I'm going to pull 3 cards and to give you a sample of this, of the spread. So let's see, as I pause and I shuffle a little bit, I'm going to see if there are any questions or comments about some of the material. And again, yes, the equinox did pass us by already, but we're still in that portal of the harvest portal of gratitude, at least to the 29th. We don't have to just be in a space of gratitude during Mabon, right? We could be in this space of gratitude year round. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, and I'm just going to pull them from the top, and then I will share the collective message for everyone here. So this one wanted to pop up. I'll put that there, and then I'm going to select one in here, and then the third one. Okay, there we go. So I have my 3 cards, and this is for the collective group, for all who are tuned in. So that first card was the past. Which seeds am I harvesting now? And where is my biggest area of balance? So which seeds that did I plant before that are now coming to fruition, that's bringing balance into my life? And so this is the Page of Pentacles. All right, can you see this really cute card? Oh my word. Page of Pentacles. So which seeds are now bearing fruit and I'm able to harvest? So it has to do with learning and education. So what courses, classes, where was I trying to beef up my education and my learning and my training? And what did I delve into to gain more knowledge? What areas? So the areas that we put some effort into growing and advancing our know-how, our advancing our intelligence and our skills and our abilities, training, learning, mentorship. Wherever I had put my effort, I'm going to start seeing some of the blessings starting to come in now, bringing in some balance. And you might even be saying, oh, wow, I'm so glad I learned about that, because now I'm able to apply that knowledge and wisdom that was gained through the books I read or the training I took. I'm seeing how it's kind of coming together. You know how oftentimes we reflect upon when we were in school and we say, yeah, when am I going to use that algebra, right? Well, now that algebra is going to be right there in front of you. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I learned that in 7th grade, right? Who knew? So that's what we're starting to see now. Okay, then the next card and the next position, present. How can I show my gratitude to spirit? So this card is the 4 of Wands reversed. Let me just take a look here. Let me sit into this energy with how can I show my gratitude? This I'm going to say goes back to what was shared earlier about the small blessings and being appreciative of all of the little things and being saved and protected from the unseen and the unknown, what I don't know, the information that I'm not privy to. So how can we be more in balance and show gratitude to spirit? Being grateful in a space of grateful for all things every day. Maybe with prayers or your words saying, I am grateful for this cup. I'm grateful for this cup that holds the water that I'm able to enjoy, because honestly, there are people on this planet who don't have drinking water. And how often we take that for granted, let's be honest, I'm in Southwest Florida. There are things that are kind of churning in the Caribbean Sea and in the Gulf and in the Atlantic Ocean. And so there's a possibility that, this time next week, we may not have electricity. This time next month, we may not have electricity. That a grid could blow in the electricity and that could shut everything down for a bit. And we might not have, air conditioning and so on and so forth, right? So how often do we take these things for granted, right? So this is how we can show spirit our appreciation, is to celebrate and honor and acknowledge the small manifestations as well. And then the third card is in the position of the future. Which seeds didn't sprout and what should I leave behind? So this is the 6 of Wands. So you might have been kind of hanging on, waiting for what your next move is based upon someone else or an outside situation, rather than taking the initiative and being proactive. So we often all do this. I'm going to wait and see what happens over there, and then I'll make my next move, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to make stuff happen on my own, right? So this is the waiting. This is always the card of news coming in that you've been waiting to hear about. And it's saying that maybe that job didn't manifest. Maybe that relationship didn't pan out. Maybe you didn't get that bonus or raise that you had hoped, or maybe someone didn't follow through with their collaboration with you, right? It's like, I'm not going to just base my success and happiness over that situation. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. So it's saying, take your basket and create more baskets. Take your eggs and find another basket, your own basket. Decorate your own basket, create your own success and reality. Yeah. So that's a sampling of using that spread and how you can use it. Now, if you are not a tarot person, you can use oracle cards. You can use runes. You can work with tea leaves. There are many different divination tools that you can work with, right? Crystals, there are many different ways that people connect with spirit, but these are the inquiries. You can journal, use these different spreads as prompts for you to go within. So I'm going to check out some of the comments here. So Barb says, with the full moon coming up, will the full moon coming up affect Mabon? I think we have a new moon coming up, right? The new moon is coming up shortly, isn't it? I'm so lost right now. I think we have a new moon coming in. New moon in Libra that's coming in. So, how would the full moon affect any season or time? It would be that, well, the full moons are about that heightened energy and that intuition, right? So, and emotions and feelings, and they're just showing me snip, 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 cut the cords on the emotional attachments to what did not manifest, right? Try not to be in that longing, yearning state for too long, and that pity place of, or victim place, right? Where something didn't come together and you put all that effort. It's like, okay, it's like Play-Doh, right? Play-Doh. You're making something doesn't look that great. Okay, just I'm going to mush it all together and create something else. So that's how I would suggest working with the full moon during this time, or even the new moon, right? So it's more of releasing and letting go what obviously isn't in alignment with your path at this time, and putting your energy and focus more on what is supporting you, right? Again, protecting, being guided and led to be in alignment with your soul's journey. And there are many things that do not manifest that are not supposed to manifest. Okay, so I hope that helped a little bit. That's okay, Barb. That's okay. I got confused too, so it's all fine. It's all fine and good. So I'm going to give everybody another moment or two to see if there are any more questions about this time. Then I'm going to talk about what we have popping up around us these days. So then after the card spread, there's an area for some reflections, right? To be in that space of gratitude, to celebrate the small blessings, to maybe think about what seeds you want to plant with the next cycle, the next round, right? This is helpful. So while I wait for comments here, I do want to mention that if you're in the Southwest Florida area, you're going to want to check out Peace Day, which is tomorrow at Waxahachie Center. It's a park. Off of Summerlin Road. It's just past, if you're coming from Fort Myers on Summerlin, it's just past Health Park. It's on the left. I'll post a link to the event in the Astral Lounge. It's from 10 to 5. And we will have a booth there with products. So I've got some of my mystical team there. So I'll have Bree there, and Evan and Tina. And I think Kelsey's stopping by a little bit later. And we can't wait to see the community of like-minded individuals. And Zakari always puts forth, oh my gosh, such an effort to bring peace to Southwest Florida and the world, and inspiring all of us. And I think it's the perfect day to do that, because we want to send love and light to the planet, to the waters, to the animals, to the people that are suffering and that are challenged, and bringing in unity so that we can support and lean on each other for the highest and the best good of all. All righty. I'll see if I have any other questions here. Any other questions? Comments? I hope you were all able to connect with the link to check out the workbook, to print it out, or to just refer to it for yourself. Also, I think on my website, I have the Mercury retrograde workbook as well. And so we've got Mercury is retrograde until October 1st and 2nd. And so we have a lot of planets that are retrograde at this time. I believe we have 6 of them, 6 planets in retrograde. So retrogrades are always a time of rees. And I have mentioned that before. Reflect, revisit, recalibration. Most certainly it is a time of recalibration. And yeah, there are some emotions and feelings that have been coming up where there's a little bit of fiery energy too. And now that we're in the time of Libra season, the time of sun sign of Libra, this is about balance and relationships with others, relationship with self, relationships that you have with money, your career, finances, your past, your relatives, all of that. So all of that is really being brought to the surface, front and center for all of us. All righty, so it looks like everybody's pretty good to go. So I hope that you found this information useful, and it kind of sparked some creativity and some reflection, and to remind you that Often we take things for granted. To be in a space of gratitude for the larger manifestations that we are so emotionally attached to, as well as the smaller ones, the everyday ones that we take for granted. And so with that being said, I did want to take a moment, and as a collective, if we can all take a moment to bring our attention to the breath, to the moment, to your center, and send rays of light and healing and disillusion to any storms, any natural weather events that threaten the safety and security and well-being of all living creatures on this planet and in all realms. That there's a dissolution of the dysfunction and all of the potential chaotic energy, sending light and healing to these areas, sending light and healing to all those who are suffering and going through difficult times. And remembering that at a moment's notice, we can, and may be in those positions as well, right? To have empathy for all those who are struggling, whether it's a mental struggle, a physical struggle, a spiritual struggle, or an emotional struggle. Sending love and light and healing to all of you. And I thank all of you for tuning in. And I look forward to connecting with all of you soon. Namaste. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.